Although I couldn't be there in class today, I'm going to talk to you guys about a few international traits that I noticed in Like Father, Like Son. We're going to talk about the use of cinematography and the movie's use of music. And yeah, let's get into it. So what I noticed more so with Like Father, Like Son's music is the fact that they really rely on one piece of music, and that is using the piano as an instrument. I'm not quite sure if it was one song, but it did sound like it was one uniform song throughout the movie. And, for lighter moments, they did a more upbeat key and few notes. I'm not very good with music, but they used more positive sounding music. That was mainly when the kids were together and the families were doing well together. And when things got more tense, on the other hand, they used the sadder, more slow keys that represented, feelings of sadness, anger. I also noticed that the music was used when nothing was happening in the story at all. So it didn't really progress the plot or anything. It allowed story to continue and didn't really... The movie didn't need all of that music because it's all about characters. It's not as much about plot. You want to know what happens to the kids, but the music just lends a hand to the actual story itself. So that's why I think it's so simplistic. Whereas Hollywood films, for drama, we use full-on orchestras and things like that. But for Like Father, Like Son, it achieves all of that and more with one song. And I think that's really neat. In addition to music, Like Father, Like Son doesn't rely on special effects or fancy camera work to show images to the audience. Instead, it uses simple camera techniques, natural lighting, and, the only differences that we notice are in the scenery and locations themselves. In the countryside that we see, less developed than the city would be. And, there's a lot of bright lighting showing brightness in their house. And in the city, particularly in their apartment, we see that it's very dark and cold and there's no emotion. And that's just from simple camera work. So it's little things like that that are reflected in the film through the cinematography.